Hey, ladies, welcome to Sunday evening at Black Women Making Money. It's your girl Cherie in the building, and I am super excited to have Brown Skin Girls here. Welcome, Brown Skin Girls.
Hi, I'm happy to be here, guys.
So, we have an exciting topic tonight for all of my ladies out there, especially if you're thinking of breaking into tech. Brown Skin Girls has a YouTube channel where she helps you break into tech, and she's going to talk about that. And when I asked her, well, okay, tell me what you want to talk about with regards to this topic, she said that there is an ongoing discussion within tech, and as people are breaking into tech, about whether they should get a degree or just get a certification. So, I thought this was a great topic for us to discuss. As you all are coming in, don't forget to click the like button for me. If you are listening to the replay, please put replay in the chat. That way, we are able to um, let YouTube know that you love what you're hearing. This evening, of course, you're going to be able to ask Brown Skin Girls all about breaking into tech because that is what she's done as a young adult. And I am taking a YouTube break after tonight, after this session. I have some things that I recorded earlier today, so you all will get content from me this week, but it'll be little brief videos that are dropped that are pre recorded, but I'm not logging into YouTube at all just because I need a mental health break. Some of you saw my topics on Friday, and I was just like, I need a week or two off. So we will see how long I will be on my YouTube break. But anyway, tonight, though, we have a super great conversation we're going to have with Brown Skin Girls. And this is a topic even I'm interested in. Brown Skin Girls, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and your YouTube channel and what you talk about?
Sure. So again, hi everyone. I am Brown Skin Girls. Um, basically, within 2020, it started when I graduated from high school. I went into school, got into college. I was STEM, but I was more biology. I wanted to be a gene therapy person, someone who discusses genetics and things like that with future parents. But that didn't work out. But I always had a passion for tech, but I was kind of running from kind of my purpose. So I did a little bit of that. Then I financially couldn't afford to go to school anymore, so I had to drop out of school. And then I lost my job. I was laid off, worked in customer service. And then I decided, okay, I know I want to do tech. So how do I go about this? So basically, what I did some research, and then a recruiter reached out to me for a technical school, which I will talk about later for those who want to join into it. Um, I got recruited by a technical school. I went through about 5 months of tech school, graduated, got a job, worked there for about 10 months, got laid off. And I'm happy to say that I now have a contract position now. Hopefully, we're hoping that they put me full time. I'm going to work my hardest to do that. And that's where I am now. And the reason I started my YouTube channel is because I wanted to talk about the tech space more as a black woman because we're
Mhm.
so underrepresented, and there's so many things about tech that people talk about that aren't necessarily true, or they're not in tech, or they're in tech but not technical. I wanted to be that technical voice in the YouTube space just so everyone could know how things go, how to get in there, and what a career is like in tech. So that's why I started my YouTube channel. It's going pretty well. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. So if you like what
Yay!
I talk about, please subscribe. I am gonna go through a rebrand here soon, but I'm just working on building my tech channel, um, getting back into school, which I recently did get back into school, so that's another good thing that came out of this. And yeah, just working hard at work, my channel, and school. That's mainly what I've been doing. So I'm excited to answer any questions and get into this topic with you.
Fantastic. So everybody, Brown Skin Girls YouTube channel is in the chat, and if you're listening to the replay, then I will make sure to put it as the pinned comment. Brown Skin Girls, why don't you talk to us a little bit about your process of getting into tech? First of all, like, what do you do within tech?
So I started off at help desk for hardware support. I
Mhm.
now do application support. So basically, how I got into that is, again, I went through the technical school. They have a program in which they connect you with possible employers. I went through that process, and then I started hardware tech support. Then I was laid off. I did a little bit of upskilling, and then I was reached out to by a recruiter who does application support. So I went through that process, went through a lot of interviews, but they chose me, and so now I'm doing that. So now I'm in application support, but my main goal is to get into networking eventually. I did want to do data, but my passion is networking and making sure that things function, because without that networking, without the internet connection, you really don't have a technical experience. So that's
Right.
mainly what I'm focused on.
So, first of all, Dawn to Earth is here saying, good evening, ladies. Take your time. I've been off Facebook for 2 months and might not go back. Thinking of dropping IG. Yeah, I'm like hardly on IG at all. I'm on Facebook for work, but I'm not addicted to Facebook. It doesn't, that algorithm is not so bad for me. And then Mika is here saying hello. Hello to you, Mika. Okay, so um, let's take a step back. When you thought about getting into tech, I know you said that you were recruited into tech, but so many people are thinking, hey, I want to get into tech, but I'm not sure what career path I should take. And one of the things that Tam and I talked about from Women in Linux is finding a career coach to start with, where they actually look at your skills, look at the things that you want to do, and then look at the jobs that are available and like work with you with regards to that. I'd love to hear what you think with regards to how does somebody who doesn't know what application support means or what networking means. I think we all know what help desk means, but how does somebody even know like what what career path they should go? What's some of the advice you would give?
All right, sure. So my first piece of advice is definitely what Tam said. Get with a career coach, someone that's in tech if you can get to them, and really talk to them about your skill set, what you want to do while you're interested in tech. Because just because you're interested in tech, that doesn't mean that you can do necessarily everything. There might be something that you're good at or something that you might not be good at. So that's something I would definitely speak about. I would also look at my resume, look at the experiences that you've had before you decided, hey, I really want to get into tech, and that will also tell you where you can start and where you can apply yourself as far as entry level tech positions that you would want to get into. And I guess the last thing I would say is definitely look into a entry level certification, just to see what you already know, just to see what you can do, and then go ahead and get that certification. And then from there, I would definitely go into help desk, and from there we could go forward. But those are the top three things I would say to someone who wants to get into tech. And also
Great.
another thing, look into a technical school. I will always preach technical schools. I'm so blessed that I was recruited and it was paid for me. But that's another thing that has been such a blessing in my life. And I think that a lot more people should look into technical schools for certifications and training.
Great, great. So Denise is in the building. Hello. Mika saying that's definitely something I need. Paige is saying good evening, and so is Rana. Okay, so and the other MJ is also here as well. Hello, my dear. Okay, so you said a lot there. Let's kind of take a step back and kind of break it down. Um, this whole thought of should you get a degree versus certification, uh, how did you come up with this topic? I know that you said that this has been the conversation within the breaking into tech community, but um, what are people saying with regards to somebody who, let's say that we have a young lady who's in the middle of getting a degree, a bachelor's degree. What are some of the things that you think that she should do?
Okay. So, as far as the hypothetical person, I would not tell her to leave college. Absolutely do not do that. You are on the right path. One thing I would tell her to do is to try to look into certifications, or if her school provides them, because some schools they do make the certifications a part of their curriculum. I would tell her to also look into certifications. And then lastly, experience. Experience is a big thing in tech. College is one thing, even certifications are one thing, but actually having that experience to say, hey, I've been here a while, then you can definitely get jobs with that. It's different from someone who's not in school, who wants to get into tech, but I think the person that's in college is in the best position to take advantage of that. And as far as how degrees versus certs became a conversation, I'm in a lot of the spaces of tech. All of us who are in help desk or entry level to mid tech, um, the conversation with AI, with Chat GPT and AI, people are very fearful. I mean, as they should be. AI is a big threat to the workforce, and
Mhm.
people are trying to figure out, okay, how do I provide for my family? How do I maintain a career? Is it even worth it to get a degree? Because by the time you get a degree, most of the time, especially in the fast-paced industry as tech, most of the information you have learned is outdated. And then the thing about certifications, they feel like it is oversaturating the market because a lot of other people have these other certifications. And then also they feel like it's too easy because it's mostly memorization, which I would disagree with as someone who actually took these tests. But that's another argument people are making. So that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I have a answer that no one is really, talking about, because people are one or the other. I'm more so of a both person plus experience.
Very good. I like that. So I cannot agree with brown skins girls more. If you're in college, please don't leave college. Like, please don't. You all know I always tell you that if you're like, 19 years old today, go to college, get a bachelor's degree. Don't let, especially these men, scare you out of that. Because my concern is when you turn 35 and you're up for a management position, and they say, well, we would give you this, but you don't have a college degree. And by that time, you've got kids and a husband and responsibilities. It's going to take a lot for you to go back to school. So, yes, I know college is expensive. Try to get scholarships. There's a lot of information out there. Dr. Pamela Ellis, I'm always telling you about Dr. Pamela Ellis. She actually helps Black people get scholarships, both partial and full ride scholarships to college. Her name is Dr. Pamela Ellis. I think is College Compass Advisory or Compass College Advisory if you Google it. I'm always giving her out as a resource. And if you are a mother, start your kid at age 14 with preparing for college. Dr. Pamela Ellis will start working with your freshmen in high school um, children and students to help set them up to get full ride scholarships. Okay. So definitely want to make sure that you know that. Um, let's then go to the 25 to 30-year-old Black woman, right? And let's say she has a college degree. She studied, I don't know, business, right? Just something, I should say generic, but generic. What does she do at that point? Does she go for a master's degree in information systems? Does she go for a certification? What should she do?
So, to the 25 to 30-year-old Black woman,
Mhm.
I would tell her that her degree is an advantage. A lot of people in tech are very technical, but if they want to move up in management, they need to know the business side of things. So, that's definitely an advantage on her part, having a business degree. I would tell her get a few certifications, and then also look at her job experience up to this point, because if she's 25 to 30, I'm pretty sure she has some good experience.
Mhm.
Even if it's not tech, every job that you have tech skills, you have communication skills, customer service skills, communication skills. Look into your jobs and see, what could I be a benefit to a tech company by looking at my resume, and you write it out that way. And then with those certifications, you might be able to even skip entry level and skip help desk and then go into a junior position. So that's what I would tell a 25 to 30-year-old Black woman with a
Yeah,
business degree.
I that's what I've heard as well. So first of all, women in adjusting, welcome. We're going to come back to your question, women in adjusting about tech for insurance professionals. I have a couple of baseline questions, additional baseline questions to ask brown skin girls. Okay, but I will come back to this. You're also saying yes, I'm going back to college at 25, getting a degree in math. Good for you. Good for you. You're saying either math or risk management. I have a mentor that tried to get me into risk management about 10 years ago. He was like, "You'd be so good at that, Cherie. You'd make a lot of money." But I decided not to. Can you hear that, brown skin girls? That's my AC that kicked on.
Okay, yeah, a little bit, but it doesn't bother me.
Okay. Well, the next time you talk, I'm going to turn it off.
Okay.
And you're also saying, "Yes, I'm a mom." Like, really, let's be real. These white moms, these Asian moms are starting in 7th grade getting their kids prepared for college. And we've had this conversation. You've been in here, Women in Adjusting. We're waiting too long to get our kids prepped for college. Um, and Rana's saying, "Yes, I can hear it." Okay, I'll turn it off then. I forgot it was on when we started talking. Um, Talk to us a little bit about certifications. And I will ask this question with regards to I just recently got certified to be a mortgage loan officer. And you're right that memorization, like I memorize stuff in order to pass the test, but in order for me to do this job, it takes, a lot more. It takes different skills than what it took to get the certification. But walk us in the audience through a little bit of how you actually go about getting the certification, you know, just walk us through it like from A to Z.
Okay. So step one is figuring out what certification you want, and also looking into the jobs you want to do, because if a certification is not useless, but if it's not required to do the certain jobs that you want to do, it would be a waste of your time and your money because you're not going to get that return on investment. So just make sure it's not just any certification. Make sure that tech companies recognize it. Make sure it's recognized by the United States, even globally if you can. CompTIA is globally recognized. So no matter what country you go to, they will accept CompTIA certifications. Just make sure that you're not getting it in vain or just getting it to get it. Make sure that it will benefit you on the back end. So after that, I would recommend you buy materials to study. Some people say free resources, but I wouldn't recommend that because usually the free information is outdated, or you're not paying on the front end, you're paying on the back end. So you're gonna be trolled with emails, um, different things like that, spam, or what's another thing? It's more time consuming to get free resources, in my opinion, that you could be putting into actually studying. Just give CompTIA or AWS or the CCNA. I can't remember off the top of my head which company does that one. Just give those people your money, get the materials from them, and it makes no sense to go get it for free because buying it from the actual manufacturer, the people who run the exam and run the test, they're telling you what they want from you, what they want you to know. So I would just go through them instead of a free resource on YouTube or Twitter threads. And then from there, just make out a plan for studying. It's just like school, but it's a lot quicker. You just take the test and then you get your certification. But I would make out time to study, what information you need to know, figure out what you already know so you don't waste time on that. Take a couple of pre-tests, um, and then from there you just study, and then you would prep for the test. It's just like it's like a if you've taken a I might be telling what state I'm in, but like a SOL or state mandated school test. It's just like that. So I will prepare as if I'm taking any other college exam or, standard for the state that you're in. I would treat it like that. And then from there, if you pass, you get the certification. If you fail, you don't get it, and you don't get your money back. This is an investment on your part. Certifications do cost money. They're much cheaper than a 4-year degree, but they do cost you money. And if you're not taking it seriously and just taking it to take it, it will add up because you have to pay unless you buy a bundle or you get student discounts like I do. You will have to pay over and over, and these are 300, 400, $500 certification tests plus the materials you are buying from the manufacturer. So just be sure that you're taking it serious and you're actually studying, because you don't want to pay for 3 or 4 certification exams. So that's how I would go about certifications. And certifications are basically, if a college degree, I'd like to look at it as sports. um, if the college degree is teaching you how to play the game, the certification is showing that you know how to do it. You're taught the game in college, and then certification is like, okay, if I put you in this situation, do you know how to get us a point, basically? and the job is at the actual game, the actual, face to face.
Great. So, first of all, Annie X, is saying, "Hey, I'm finishing my bachelor's in business computing. It's basically business and computer science. I'm a bit conflicted on what I should do next, a master's or go straight to work. I'm 20, by the way. First of all, congratulations, my girl,
Yes,
for getting that
congratulations.
bachelor's degree. Basically, you're basically saying it's a mixture between business and computer science. As somebody who has a master's degree and who is steeped in debt because of the master's degree and not the bachelor's degree, I'm going to say go straight to work. I'm going to say go straight to work. Brown skin girls may have a different opinion, but um, these days you can get much of your progress with just a bachelor's degree. Then, if you determine that you're going in a career path that requires a master's degree, see if you can get your employer to pay for it. But that would be my suggestion, and I don't know you that well, so you may wanna talk to a career coach just to be sure based on, where you're headed in your profession. But so many people are able to, even if you take a five to $10,000 haircut, when I say haircut, I mean, a reduction in pay, and they pay for your degree, master's degree, if you really need it, that may be worth it. Or some companies will say, well, we'll pay for your master's degree, but you got to be here for 4 years or 5 years. Then you can kind of determine that. But ask yourself with the career track that you're headed, do you actually need a master's degree? Um, Brown skin girls, what do you think about this?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I absolutely agree. I would go straight into work and see if you can leverage your experience and yourself as a person to get them to pay for your school. You are, I can bring this to your company, I can bring that to your company, and try to negotiate, tuition assistance. A lot of tech companies offer that. Both of my companies offer that, but since I'm contracted this one, I can't really take advantage of it. But
Mm-hmm.
my old company did. A lot of them already off the bat, without you even have to negotiate, they offer tuition assistance. And if you prove it to them, they'll credit you for what you paid for school, as long as you're passing, of course. But I would definitely get straight into the workforce, see what you can find. About your bachelor's, I don't even think you have to do help desks, to be honest. You can get a junior position, and your degree is very perfect because you have that blend of business and technical. A lot of companies are looking for that, especially with AI and automation. Technical is not enough anymore. You have to have those communication skills and those business skills, and you definitely have it with your experience. And leverage your network from school. If you were networking, you probably can bypass a lot of the entry level stuff. So just keep that in mind as well.
If you have not been networking, start networking. My suggestion to you would be to go on meetup.com or eventbrite.com and find at least two networking events to go to every single month. And the best thing to do is to go to the same ones over and over again. That way you see the same people so they get to know you. So they're like, oh, we've got this, opening over here. We'll put your resume up at the top. Just come in, right? That's how you network. You also may, again, talking to a career counselor or a career coach, there may be some certifications that you want to add on top of your bachelor's degree, that may boost your salary as well. So I would definitely talk to a career coach based on what you're thinking about doing, and just see if maybe there's an additional certification maybe that you want to get on top of that as well. Um, so let's talk then about certification versus boot camp because we really didn't talk about that. Well, I mean, I guess you go to a boot camp in order to pass the certification, but um, uh, people taking self-paced, classes versus boot camps versus I don't know if there were other types of group Zoom classes or things like that. What can people expect as they are looking at some of the options with regards to getting certified?
Um, if you've never, heard about tech a day in your life and you found a new interest in it, I would definitely recommend boot camp Zoom calls as if you're in like a college campus or online school. I would definitely recommend that. Now, if you're in tech or you know a little bit about tech, you know your way around and you need some certifications, I would definitely either do self-paced or just buy the material and self-pace yourself. Um, and then from there, if you already have work experience, some people, and this is few and far between, but I've talked to some people and networked with some people. They've been in the tech industry so long, their employer said, "Hey, you need this certification." They can go in, pay for it, and pass the same day. But that's just those people who have been in the tech industry for a while. But I went through a boot camp just because I knew that I wasn't disciplined enough at that time because I had just been through so much, but I knew I wanted to change my life. I went through the boot camp because it would give me that discipline to go ahead and, show up to class every day, get the homework turned in, study, because I'm actually in school. It felt like school to me. So now I'm
Mhm.
disciplined enough and worked on myself enough where I can do self pace from here on out. But I would definitely recommend beginners to take boot camps. Now, boot camps are fast paced, so you have to train yourself for that, especially for a certification. They're not as long as, college courses or school if you're underage. You can get CompTIA certifications underage, I think, but sometimes you might need to do self-paced, and then sometimes you might need to do boot camp. It's all up to who you are and your personality. You know that no one knows the discipline you have except for yourself. If you're self-aware and you're honest with yourself, you know what you need. So I would just recommend boot camps for anyone trying to break into tech. But if you have that discipline and you can't afford to actually go to the school, you only have enough to pay for the course and the materials, I would do that and just discipline yourself and self-study. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah. So, we have a couple of questions here with regards to the boot camps. Women in Adjusting is asking about Career Foundry Boot Camp with job guarantee. She's skeptical about that. What do you think about that?
I've never heard of this boot camp before, but just for boot camps in general, make sure they're accredited. If they're not accredited, I don't care if it's cheap, I don't care if it's you've heard reviews, don't go. Because if the tech companies don't recognize it, you've just wasted money. And even if you didn't pay for it, you wasted time, and time you can never get back. So I would make sure that tech school is, accredited. And I will also make sure that they're trying to give you certifications that actually matter and not just mumbo jumbo and just general stuff. Because a lot of these boot camps, they'll promise you one thing and they don't even prepare you for certifications and things like that. It's just general information and it's just a waste of time. So I'll make sure it's accredited. I would look at reviews. I will look at what they're offering. That's what I would look for. Make sure you don't get scammed out here because people recognize that there's a shortage of tech workers in America, and America is beginning to pick up on the recruitment. So a lot of people, there's bad guys out there trying to take your money and take your time. So I would just beware of that. But the most important thing, make sure it's accredited. And if they're promising you six-figure jobs or things like that, don't believe that either. Like there's no one's going to trust you with their 400, 500K systems. They're not going to trust you with their information, their data. They're not going to trust you with that, and you have no experience. You will get a junior job or a help desk job. But if they're promising you management positions, 100K careers after you take this 3-month course, they're lying to you. Don't take it. You're going to be disappointed.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, so, Women Adjusting is also asking, what do you guys think about these free boot camps on YouTube? I think Brown Skin Girls already talked about this, but let's answer this. Being offered using the CC license. I don't know what the CC license is.
If it's content creator, no. Now, other than that, I wouldn't know what CC stands for, but I would not do
Okay.
that, women in adjusting. That sounds like a scam.
Okay. So, how much roughly should we be looking at investing between the boot camps and the certification test itself?
If you're not doing boot camp, I'll just go off a comp to you because that's mostly what I've been doing.
Hmm.
A plus is the cheapest, but as advance, the tests become more expensive. So let's just go off of A plus. A plus, it's probably about $200 to sit for the exam. Bundles and things like that. Um, I would say about 150 to $200. It's much cheaper than that if you're a student or went through their school. But I would say if you're not doing boot camp, then I would say around $500 per certification. But you immediately make that back your first paycheck, I promise you. But if you're doing boot camp and you're not in a position to receive a scholarship, CompTIA's I think is around $10,000. But again, you get that back within your first few paychecks. So it's like it's definitely a return of investment. You have to spend money to make money. So I don't want those amounts to scare you guys, but you do have to put in some money to achieve this. I won't lie to
So
you.
you're saying the CompTIA boot camp is $10,000?
Yeah, if but they have a lot of scholarships and sponsors, so you can get sponsored. I didn't have to pay, but if you're not in that position, then it's around $10,000, $8 to $10,000.
And you said that people came to recruit you in this technical school. How would somebody go about, you know, saying, "Hey, I want to be recruited. I'm looking for a scholarship." What is that like?
Um, you can sign up for their email list, and you can also
Mhm,
follow them on LinkedIn.
mhm.
Sometimes you won't be recruited through email, just because I think it was because I was on their email list, and then someone had reached out to me and said, "Hey, you're on the email list. Do you want to join this school?" And I went from there. But you can always go to their website and apply. Even though you're not recruited, you can definitely still get in, still get interviewed. Someone can definitely take an interest in you, and you can get scholarships. And they also do it based on your financial position. So, like me, I was at rock bottom when I found this school. So, if you're in a
Mhm.
position where you can't pay, they will, get a sponsor for you to where you don't have to pay at all. But if you're not
Okay.
in the financial position, they also offer loans. You can take out a loan through CompTIA through their sponsors to get into their school as well.
Okay. So, ladies, always be careful about, taking loans, just understanding the terms of these loans. I'm not a fan of because I know that there are some boot camps out there that will say they're free and then they take a portion of your salary for a crazy amount of time. I've heard people talk about that.
That's crazy.
Please do not sign anything like that. Please don't sign anything like that. Let me ask you another question then, because um, I've heard that some of the certifications, just having them on your LinkedIn, you don't necessarily need to know people and network and things like that. But then other positions, it's best for you to know people, network, as well as have your LinkedIn updated with that certification. For the CompTIA, is it like such a massive shortage that if you just put it on your LinkedIn, people will start calling you?
Yeah, especially if you have the trifecta. If you have the trifecta, you'll never be without a job.
And
Lots
what's
of
the
people are
trifecta?
always getting, yeah, they're getting junior positions and mid-level positions off of that alone. Now, some people who are getting the mid positions, they also have degrees and a little bit of experience. But yeah, if you have the trifecta, you will get help desk. You will get a junior position, definitely.
And what's the
So keep your
trifecta?
LinkedIn up there. The trifecta is A plus, Network plus, and Security plus. That's
Say
the
that
network
again?
in A plus, Network plus, and Security plus. That's
Okay.
the CompTIA trifecta. If you get that trifecta, you get a bonus certification that you're a certified infrastructure professional. So you know how to run a basic facility, all of their, IT needs. You can serve them on a troubleshooting level. That's what A plus is. Network plus, their network infrastructure. Security plus, keeping the bad guys out. If you have those three, a lot of people are going to be calling you.
Okay. So, ladies, definitely look into that. Tell us a little bit about the cybersecurity certifications because a lot of people are interested in that.
So cybersecurity, they're fine. It's just that people make false promises about them. Like they think they're going to get this six-figure job and just run a whole company's $1 million security infrastructure. Like, no, you have to work your way up in cybersecurity, especially with that much information and money on the line. It's not going to be, easy peasy. But once you have that certification and you're showing you have experience, in the long run, it will pay off. So cybersecurity, they're trying to jump straight in with one certification. I honestly would recommend you get a network. It doesn't even have to be CompTIA's trifecta. I would get some experience in every aspect of the, you know, internet process, the infrastructure process. then go into cybersecurity. But I don't think you can just get a cybersecurity certification and then just jump in and get us a cybersecurity job. No one's going to trust you with that much information and that much money on the line. But they are good, but I would just get a mix of everything.
Okay. I knew a association, nonprofit association. They used to help underage boys get certified white hat hacker, ethical hacker certifications. Do you know about those?
Yeah, women in Linux, they teach about those a lot. That's a Linux
Mhm.
infrastructure. Linux is very
Okay.
much in demand. Linux is what runs most of your servers. So if you're in the servers, I would definitely get into Linux. And that's a good program. I've never heard of it, but White
Mhm.
Hat and Red Hat, that's all Linux. So I would definitely get into that because Linux is the future. People are tired of other OSs. Linux is definitely the future.
Yeah, so that group actually, I don't know, they've been around probably for 15, 16 years now, and they specifically work with high school boys in order to help them like learn technology and prepare for college. And during that process, they help them get this certified white hat ethical hacker certification, something like that. I know it's the white hat thing. Um, so I know that because you were talking about some certifications that you're able to get as a minor, and I happen to know that that one is one because of this group. So again, if you have children, ladies, if you have children, getting them started early with these things as well, because they may get a scholarship to college, that'd be great, but they could also work during college as well and not have that student loan. Like I'm a fan of, knocking out these student loans as much as possible. And Tam is officially in the building. Shout out to you,
Hi,
Tam,
Tam. I
from
follow
Women
you
in
guys a
Linux.
lot. I do. Y'all inspired me on my journey. So shout out to Women in Linux.
Yes, she is awesome. And Denise is saying this is great information. Amethyst is asking a great question. You had talked about being accredited before. How would we even know if a company is accredited?
One way they will promote it. Once they get certified or
Mhm,
accredited, they will promote it. They'll tell you
mhm.
right off the bat. Also, if they don't do that, you can scroll down to at their information. You can scroll down to the bottom of their page, and they'll have to disclose to you whether they're accredited or not. That's one way to do it as well. So they'll usually promote it, but if they don't promote it, then look at the bottom of their page where all their information is, like home, contact. They'll tell you who they're certified by and who they're accredited by.
And they won't lie about that,
They
right?
can't. It's illegal to lie about it.
It's illegal to lie about it. Okay, perfect. So then let's go back a little bit more to technical school all the way through getting certified. What are some of the other things that we should know with regards to study habits or time frames that we should have in mind with regards to getting these certifications? Um, I know that you probably just have some more gems for us, like the road to certification.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So for me, I was in school, so they self-paced it for us. But I would definitely say break it down because CompTIA, especially, they have so many curriculums within one test. So they're called objectives in CompTIA. There's so many objectives and cores that you have to learn. I would break it down that way. So maybe spend a week or two on objective one, and then so on and so forth, and then test as you go. You're testing as you go. You're getting the information, and then I would go for there. I also recommend flashcards. My technical teacher, he's now kind of my mentor. He taught me to use flashcards, and I didn't want to listen to him because I'm too lazy to make flashcards. But flashcards definitely help you, especially on the subjects you don't know. Flashcards, repetition. Especially when we were sitting for our exams, my mom helped me a lot with the flashcards. Get someone who wants you to win. Get someone who wants you to succeed in this industry. Not someone who's trying to use you. Because the ulterior motives, like I know we don't talk about that a lot in tech, but like you're seen as like kind of the money person, but you need someone who really cares about you and wants to help you, not someone who's just after the salary at the end or someone who's trying to use you for money because people don't look into that. But Very important, especially when you're studying, because if they're not getting anything out of it, they don't want to help you. Get someone who's
Mhm.
in your corner. That's very important. Um, and then lastly, as far as studying, um, honestly, it's just every day. Get some, even if you're not studying for 3 or 4 hours, do a test a day, do a set of flashcards a day, every day. You have to make the certification your life, because once you are sitting for the exam and you go into the job, it's not just, oh, I take the test and I'm done. This is knowledge you need for the rest of your career. So make sure you're always applying that information, and, making sure you're using it every day, because if you use it, you lose it. So that's one thing I would recommend as well. Don't just study to memorize or study to pass. Study to understand how the network works, study to see how the infrastructure works, because you will be using this for the rest of your career, even in the management position, because you will have to tell others what to do, even if you're not doing the work yourself. You have to explain to others, other entry levels coming up after you, how to do it. So that's another thing I would recommend as far as studying. Please study to understand.
Yeah. When I took my mortgage exam, I was the same way with regards to the flashcards. I didn't do flashcards per se, but I retyped my notes, and that was the way for me to learn the material. And sometimes you have to slow down in order to speed up. I literally said, you know what, Cherie, instead of just trying to memorize this stuff, ask yourself, like, why these terms are important, or why this law came into place, because that we had to know a lot of laws for mortgages. Sometimes we're so excited about, let me just pass a certification, that if you just pass it without really understanding, and then you go into an interview, for example, and they start asking you questions, they can tell that you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I don't know what I'm talking about just because I don't have 10 years of experience like Tam does. And then I don't know what I'm talking about because I just practiced this test did memorization on this test. And I really don't know. I didn't really like internalize any of the lessons. And I hope
Mm-hmm.
that people understand the difference with that. What are some of your thoughts with regards to that?
Yes, you will be exposed very quickly. Even this position I'm in now, even though it was contract, we work with highly sensitive, and like they need their stuff to work, so they're going to make sure that you know what you're talking about. For the technical, we did a personality interview, and then I went to a technical interview. They asked, like, they were on it. They were like, "Okay, brown skin, how do you do this? How do you do that? Say I need this done." Or even so, like, they would randomly, as we were talking, they would ask me, like, right on the spot, because if you give someone the interview questions, they can like schmooze their way. But if you're randomly like shooting questions at them, you're going to see quickly. The imposters will be exposed quickly. That's why you should not do this just for money. The money is good, but you need to have a basic passion for it. Not even a passion. I would say, like, you really want to learn and you're really trying to grow in your career. I'm not saying you have to just be a computer prodigy out of the womb, but you definitely need to know what you're doing, because you can easily be spotted out. I mean, I've seen people, schmooze their way in and they're easily exposed and they're thrown out. You really need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, women in adjusting is saying right. She definitely agrees with you. Tam is saying study with someone or some people. Study groups. I love study groups.
Yeah.
You definitely want to find people who are willing to put in the effort like you are. But you can get on a Google. They don't call it Google Hangout. Google Meet. Is totally free, right? Um, or Zoom. You can even get for, I don't know. I think it's free for 40 minutes, and then it's $15 a month after that. So definitely think about studying with people. And skills are your protection. You're absolutely right. Now, this is an interesting thing. Also using ChatGPT to help study. I have heard that ChatGPT is giving people incorrect information. What have you heard, brown skin girls, with regards to
Um,
this?
I've seen people use ChatGPT, but remember, it's AI, so it's going into databases to give you the answer. And some of those databases aren't correct. So again, I would go to the manufacturer who runs the test and constantly updates it. Just like CompTIA, they just released their newest test. So instead of 1001, which I took, it's now 1101. So you can no longer use 1001 to study. And that's another thing. please don't don't cut corners, or get an old book from someone, because every few years CompTIA updates their exams. So please don't go studying older videos from other people. Please just either pay or get into a boot camp. Just please, like, you cannot scapegoat this. You cannot cut corners or beat around the bush with this. You actually have to put in the work. And I get it's a lot of, because that was it's not now, but when I was at rock bottom, that was a lot of money for me too. But I just had to have the faith, that brown skin, you really want to do this, so you need to put in the money and put in the work. Thankfully, I was blessed enough to get recruited, so I didn't have to. But
Mhm.
even if you're not recruited, if you're in financial need, which I was as well, they will give you scholarships. But, you can't cut corners. You have to go through the traditional path, because if you cut corners, you'll be exposed, and then also you won't get what you need out of it. You won't get correct information. So Chat
Right.
GPT is good, but they're going into databases with incorrect answers. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, and women adjusting is saying, yes, it will give you incorrect information. You have to give it the information. Yeah, so that's what I've heard, that you really do need to be careful with the information you're extracting from ChatGPT right now. Uh, Dawn Earth is saying, I wish all elementary schools would add computers to their curriculum. My nephew is operating an iPad at 3. They can learn early. Here's the interesting thing. Well-to-do schools already have have this. It's and I'm not saying your nephew lives in the hood, Dawn to Earth, but oftentimes it's schools in Black neighborhoods that are poor neighborhoods that don't have these types of computer skills and things like that. If you have enough resources, you send your kids to certain schools, they're already getting this computer knowledge and more. The other thing is that after school programs, there's a lot of after school programs that we can deliberately put our kids into in order to pick these things up. Like that nonprofit that I was telling you about, that's an after school program. They have it on Saturdays actually for young men to go to. You know, and I mean, this one just so happens to be in the Northern Virginia area, but Black Girls Code, my understanding is they're all over the country. There's even Black Boys Code, I think. There are all sorts of nonprofit associations that are teaching our children. We just have to go and seek them out. Um, our kids, nobody's coming to save our kids. We have to push our kids into these classes, and you say that's not the way it should be. Great, but that's the way it is, unfortunately. Tam is saying kids can get Linux certified. You must be 16 or older to take the exam. Most testing sites require government issued photo identification to verify age and identity. So, ladies, again, if you have children, maybe getting them to start thinking about getting certified, starting working with them at 13, 14, 15, 16, so that between 16 and 18, they get these beginning certifications. That way they can, maybe get some part-time work while in school, and that part-time work could be while in college. I should say, and that part-time work can actually be relevant to them as they're going through college and then graduating. Um, Brown skin girls, do you have anything to add with regards to these couple of things that I've read?
Yeah, I completely agree. And that's cool that people can get Linux certified, because Linux really is the future, especially with servers and different things like that, as we're moving to a more digital society. The reason that you can go on Apple Music and play your song on demand, the reason that we are here on YouTube doing this live stream with you, is because of servers, is because of Linux. So definitely, even if your kids aren't interested, please at least make them get basic knowledge of tech, because
Mhm.
I'm gonna get a little weird here, but just stick with me. Tech is being gatekept, and it's no longer, it's like an open secret. They already don't want to let in people like you and me, So we really have to make sure that we're on top of getting the skills and things like that. And even with AI, people are realizing, okay, I'm gonna get automated out of my job. Tech is the best way to go. Even more so, these people, if they don't want you there, if they don't want to see your face, they are definitely gatekeeping. So as early as you can, because one day all of these doors will close, you know? So we really need to make sure while the doors are open, while the US needs tech professionals, because we are at a severe shortage. That's why the pay is so high. Get all the money and the skills we can while we can, because once we can't, we can't. I've talked about on my channel and here that we're heading for a neo-feudalist society, and part of it is gatekeeping the good high-paying jobs for the people who are already wealthy. So please, like, while we can, we really have to teach our kids at an early age, even if they don't end up getting into tech, just basic tech knowledge so that they can survive this new world we're heading into.
So let's talk a little bit more conspiracy theory. You all know I'm always suggesting that you have networks, multicultural networks of people, because as this gets gate kept, the gatekeepers need to know you. The gatekeepers need to know what you are capable of so that they can bring you in. If you're just focused on, I'm going to get this certification and put it on my LinkedIn and hope somebody comes and pray somebody finds me, you might be able to do that now, but in 10 years from now, if this thing is being gate kept and you don't know anybody and you get laid off, then what? So I cannot stress enough for you to get multicultural networks. I also cannot stress enough that you invest. You invest. Try not to spend 110% of your income on shoes and bags, right? Um, I know that this is controversial, but I don't think it's controversial on this channel. Buy a house if you can. That way you can
Yes.
stabilize your housing payments. I was listening to something earlier today that said that I think 60% of people in some of the metropolitan areas are at risk of eviction. And that's because the rents have, and this is in my opinion, the commenter didn't say this, but this is my opinion. The rents have risen so high that somebody who was paying $1,300 just, you know, 10 years ago is now paying $2,300, and their wages haven't kept up with that. So the best defense is a good offense. If you can, and there are a lot of programs out there for you to buy your first home, get some stabilized housing, stay out of consumer debt as much as possible, invest in the stock market, invest in other assets that can grow your money faster than inflation. So that's one of the other great things about Tam's channel is she doesn't just discuss tech, she also discusses a lot of finance stuff as well. So um, yeah, so Tam is saying put 25% of your or more of your salary. Absolutely. Tam is like working on two to $300,000 a year salary. So definitely following someone like her and looking at her journey and figuring out how can you get to the top 10% of whatever technical career you're going to have as well. I think that's so important, ladies. Um, Amethyst is saying some schools give elementary school kids county issued laptops to use for the semester. Yeah, but just having the laptops, giving them the laptops without the instruction is you know, that's like 25%. I'm talking about these wealthy schools out there that are teaching these kids let's take a Mark Zuckerberg's kids, right? Or Elon Musk kids. What are they learning in those super private, super elite schools? That's what I'm talking about. It's not just a county issued laptop. They're teaching their kids other things that our kids are not getting. All these tech moguls with misogynistic beliefs definitely trickle down. Uh, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't just say misogynistic. I think it's class. I think it's class. So, Amethyst, yes, that's why I am thankful for live streams and YouTube channels like this. Well, thank you. Donna Earth is saying the rent is too damn high. Yeah, it is, which is why one of the best things I did, I got a little inheritance and I took that money and I bought a house. And I am so grateful that I made that decision when I did, because there's going to come a point. I was listening to this other channel and they were talking about the fact that this guy was thinking that over the next, I think he said 10 years or something like that, he's expecting housing prices to go up another 25 to 50%. Now, I don't know if that's true. That was his projection, but that's possible. So now, the starter houses that were available in the 90s and early 2000s, it's very difficult. It's going to be and pretty soon you're going to be even locked out of that. So brown skin girls are saying you're going to be locked out of jobs and then you're going to be locked out of property as well. Um,
Yeah, the doors are closing.
yeah. Women adjusting saying, I want to do that, but don't know where you want to do what, but don't know where to start. Women in adjusting. I'm not sure what you meant by that. Facts on investing. I got my current home with the USDA loan. Fantastic. Good for you.
I was looking into that. I want to buy a house eventually. My goal is
Mhm.
2024 because my salary is going up. So I'm looking into
Mhm.
buying a house. And I think my area is USDA.
Good. Good. If you can get a USDA loan, definitely do it. So, Ron is saying, look at California. Are you talking about the schools in California or the housing prices? California housing prices is crazy. I know of FHA, but scared it will be limited to bad neighborhoods. No, that is not true. I can tell you as a mortgage person that is absolutely not true. You need to talk to a mortgage professional. If you need to reach out to me on the back end, I can connect you with some people who are good. If you're not in my area, the areas that I serve, then I can connect you with some other people. But talk to somebody. No, FHA is not limited to bad neighborhoods, not at all. Um, so I'll ask you a couple of additional questions and then you can give us some final words. So, my next question for you is with regards to your day to day work that you do. Like, how do you act? Well, you talked a little bit about how we prepare for an interview. Actually, why don't we do that? Recap for us a little bit more about how do we prepare for an interview? Somebody's interested in interviewing us. What are some of the things that we do in order to prepare?
The first thing I would do is check emails. Sometimes they might not give out their technical questions unless they're connected to like a recruiter and they like really want you. But assuming you're not in that position, and that's okay if you're not, you still have a chance. I would look for emails because they'll, kind of subliminally give you clues to what they're looking for as far as personality and, if you'll be a good fit for their culture. Also, I would recommend studying before you go to the interview because you never know if you're going to get a technical question. Help desk, it might not be serious, but for me, the one I do now, technical, support was very important. Also, knowing what you're doing with the things that we're using. I don't want to spill too much about my job just to protect myself and my company.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, you definitely want to study before on just basic knowledge of what you're doing. So, for example, if you're doing a network engineering position, I would just look in my book for whatever certification I took, go over the basic networking processes before I go into the interview because they might ask you a technical question. And the higher up you go outside of business, the higher up you go down the technical hierarchy, the more important it is to know your technical skills. So, every interview, I would study, and that's the top two things, honestly. There's really nothing else you can do other than make sure your personality is good. The basics, dress the
Mhm.
part, look the part. But the main two, especially for tech, it's not as, you don't have to smooth your way or like be likable. It's more the technical. I would recommend you be likable, and but it's, how do I say this? It's like technical. Technical is more important, but you also need to make sure that you match their personality. And they might give you the personality questions in the email, but you'll never know what technical questions you're going to get. So I would make sure that you study before then. Now, if they
Mhm.
really want you, they'll just give you the questions they're going to ask you, and you can just study them off. I've had that happen to some people in my network, but it just depends on your situation, honestly.
Yeah. I would suggest you be likable in your job overall. There was an article that came out that Asian Americans are starting to sue corporations because they are being locked out of middle management. And I have heard that a lot of the reasons why they're locked out of middle management is because they don't have personality. I hate to say it like this. Excuse me if anyone Asian is listening, but they don't have personality, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Those
I hope
soft
I make
skills.
that
So,
clear. Like you do need to be good personality wise. But what I meant by that is, if you're likable, you can kind of schmooze your way. But like tech is just one of those industries you need to know what you're doing for the most part. So
mhm,
technical is
you need
very
both.
important. Yeah, you need both.
Yeah,
That's what I was
yeah.
trying to say. I hope I didn't,
Well, I
confuse
didn't
anybody.
want people to think that they only need the technical and not the social
Yeah,
skills, which
yeah,
is why I
absolutely.
say the technical skills and the soft skills are so important. Um, Also, being friendly with your coworkers as well. You ladies know I'm always talking, like that's how you build those networks of people. So be friendly without being friends. You don't have to tell them all of your business, but if your daughter does ballet, just saying, "Yeah, my daughter's in the Nutcracker," for Christmas season or little things like that so that people can warm up to you is so important. Um, so soft skills and yeah, Erica's right. Soft skills and hard skills are like technical skills are very important. They're equally important. Um, the other thing is about the corporate culture as well is I know that times are kind of tough and people are trying to break into tech, but I would suggest you really try not to get into a company that is a bad corporate fit for you, culture fit for you, because you could end up not progressing there at all, ending up with a performance improvement plan problem and things like that, and having some you know just issues at work, and you don't necessarily want to have that. So I just want to mention that as well. Let's talk a little bit about preparing for like day-to-day work. What is it like to work day to day in tech for you?
So for me, I enjoy it because I hate having nothing to do, but you'll always have something to do. At certain, companies where it's not so technical, you have free time to chit chat with tech. If that's something that you value, um, kind of forget about it for lower and mid, but upper you might have some of that time, but lower mid levels, it's all, actually getting work done. Um, Usually for me, I'll go through my day to day. Usually we meet up for the morning, hey everyone, how's everyone doing? Hope you enjoyed your weekend. This is what we have to do today. Go ahead and do that. Then most of the time, if you're doing everything right, you just do your work and go home. At least for me. Now, if you're at a thing, this is not the case. I work in private tech. Just so you guys know, I don't work at a thing. I don't work for big companies. I work
Yeah,
for
tell
private
people
tech.
what FANG means. They may not know what that
So
means.
Fang is basically Facebook, Amazon, Alphabet, which is Google, and then Amazon and different companies like that, and
And
Netflix. I
Netflix.
Yeah,
Netflix, yeah.
I think the G is Google, but they used to be
No, the
Alphabet.
N is Netflix.
Okay,
The G is Google, the N is Netflix. The A is
okay,
Apple. I think the A
hmm
is Apple. Yeah. Um,
okay,
so it's different if you're working for one of the FANG companies versus if you're working for an insurance company, a healthcare company. You also, this is something we didn't go over earlier, but all of these companies needs tech people, and a lot of people, go for the glitz and glamour of Google, but the most stable jobs in tech are in insurance companies, hospitals, medical companies, things like that. Um, and they have so much data, for example, being guarded, or like Brown Skin Girls is talking about doing application support and things like that. Those things are very important. They're not the sexy jobs, quote unquote. However, you could get paid very well. Um, and then, we've also talked as well about looking at, like, once you get in and you kind of get your feet wet. Then really kind of taking on additional projects for upward mobility. We had a conversation earlier this week with regards to how to say no to certain non promotable tasks so that you can say yes to really good projects that get you promoted as well. So we've had that discussion. You all can go back and listen to that. This is how you become strategic with regards to your upward mobility in your career. Um, the final question that I have for you, and then I'm going to go back to women in adjusting, and I got a super chat, so thank you. Recertification. Do we have to get recertified? How often do we have to get recertified? What's the process for that?
Okay, so it depends on the company, but again, I'll go off of CompTIA because CompTIA is that girl. I don't care who on TikTok bashes her. I love CompTIA. So for CompTIA, their rules are you have to pay dues every year. It's $30 a year, and then the total is 75 for the whole 3 years. You have to pay, and then you either have to resit for the test or get CEUs, which are continuing education units, and they have
Mhm.
to be approved by CompTIA. If you're getting CEUs and they're not approved from CompTIA, it's like they never happened. Professor Messer, he is a partner of CompTIA, so if you have any CompTIA certifications and you want to get your CEUs through him, you can do that. They work with him closely. He's like one of their biggest. He's made a career out of getting people certified, so that's a good one I'll recommend to you guys. He does CEUs. You can also go through CompTIA to get other CEUs. It just depends, and if you don't want to go through all that, at the end of the 3 years you can pay your dues and then resit for the test. Now if you let it lapse and you didn't get your CEUs and you didn't pay your dues, you have to resit for the test as if you didn't get it. It's best to recertify. And also another way you can recertify without recertifying is, let's say you have A plus. If you pass Network Plus, that is the same amount. That's the equivalent of getting the CEUs needed for A plus. So once you get Network Plus, you already had A plus. You get another 3 years on your A plus. But you have to
Got
follow their tier list on their website. But it's very easy to get recertified. You just pay your dues and then you resit or you get the CEUs, or you can also get a higher level certification to recertify on your lower certification.
Perfect, perfect. So, Farida, thank you so much for the super chat saying great broadcast. Amazon loves their STAR method and their leadership principles for their interviews. In addition to my tech interview, I was grilled heavily in my interview for my engineer role. I prepared and it paid off. I love it, love it, love it. Ladies, definitely, like, once you get your certification, is not time to like sit back and relax. That's a time actually to gear up even more, prepare for these interviews, and I think prepare for the main event, which is starting and doing your first 90 days, like really knocking it out the park. So that people are like, damn, so excited that we hired her. Um, Now, I want to go back to Women in Adjusting who asked about tech for insurance professionals. And she is going back to college at age 25, getting either a degree in math or risk management. And I told you before, one of my really great mentors was trying to get me into risk management. There's so much opportunity in risk management because that's a business skill that a lot of corporations need. So, brown skin girls, do you have any advice for women in adjusting with what she's thinking about doing with her degree and her career?
Yeah, absolutely. So women in adjusting, based on what you've told us in the comments, I think you would be really good in analytics positions and business tech positions. So analytics such as data analytics, analyzing a network analyst, just looking at data and determining whether things are going good or bad. What you could also do is probably get a job on the business tech side so you can manage. You can also get into tech sales. I think that would be good for you because you're an insurance professional. I don't know if you sold insurance or not, but I see a lot of people from other industries, especially insurance. They jump from insurance to tech sales, and they make a lot of great money because you were selling insurance. Now you can sell, tech tools to other people. So those would
Yeah.
be the top two things I would tell you. You should get into tech sales. get into a management position in tech if you can, or like middle management or whatever level you can get in. And then I would also say look into analytics jobs, so business analysts, data analysts, things like that.
Yeah, if you like people, definitely tech sales. I know people personally who make a quite a penny doing tech sales. So you work your way up, but you can be at $200,000 to $300,000 easily in tech sales. I knew one guy that made $500,000. Um, I knew another guy, he made $1 million a year. He worked for a really big um, government contracting firm, and he was their business development person, one of their big time business development people, helping them get all sorts of contracts with the government. So, you know, definitely if you know how to do sales and preparing proposals and, schmoozing with people and things like that, tech sales would be great. Erica is saying, I've been in my current job for 7 months. My manager gave me the information for the interview to the T, what to study. I'm in IT and healthcare. You go, girl. I love
Yes,
my girls.
he or she really liked you because they be, oh no, you weren't supposed to see that, but I guess I can't stop you. Like they're really slick with it. That happened to me. I got all the interview questions. I decided to go with someone else. Like they were really nice, but it just wasn't, at my
Mhm.
time the goal. I was kind of moving to another direction, and they were completely opposite. But yeah, they will slip you those interview questions and not feel bad about it, and they'll be like, "Oh, how did you get those?" It's like you knew every question, so it's kind of silly. But
Girl,
that
accept
person
the
really
favor.
liked you. Yes, take all the gems you can get.
And she's saying, facts, I'm the only black woman on. Look, girl, you walk through
I've been
there like a peacock.
Yeah, I've been in
Right.
those situations as well. That's my current situation.
Uh,
Yeah, and don't be afraid for Black women specifically. Don't be afraid to show your Black woman personality. Okay,
mhm.
like you know, play that up because a lot of people don't get to see that every day, and you can be good representation for Black women. A lot of people probably haven't even interacted with Black women enough to even have an opinion on us. You can be the representation they need to see. You know,
Mhm.
have that personality, laugh a little, those little phrases we use, just sprinkle all that in. The people will love you. I feel like I have people in the palm of my hand sometimes, I'm a
Yeah.
good person, so I use it for good, but I got them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a fine line. You're not a caricature of a Black person, but you bring your personality, that openness, that warmth that we have, along with your technical skills. Like, be good technically, but also bring those soft skills, that communication, that presentation, that etiquette, that warmth, that sisterly warmth. You can go so far. Um, Tam is also saying interview with some smaller companies. I agree with that. Like, interview with a lot of different companies. It sharpens your skills, definitely. And Tam is saying they changed Fang. So Fang is Amethyst is saying Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. So, and I
Okay.
know that Facebook is now Meta. Investing all medical. Oh, that's what you're saying. That's what you're. Oh, Donna Earth is saying, dang, they're stereotyped as having no personality. Sheesh. Yeah, look, the articles that I've read with regards to their lack of upward mobility, it's called the bamboo ceiling. The bamboo ceiling. So when I say that DEI is about to go away for corporations, the Asian Americans now are starting to fight. There's actually a lawsuit now that I'm going to talk about when I come back from my YouTube hiatus, and they are fighting now DEI because they're complaining that they're at the lower levels of tech and medical, but I think it's more so tech, and they're not being promoted. And my understanding is because they don't have that. So we think that they're so lucky, right? Because they they're known for being the quote unquote model minority. However, they reach a bamboo ceiling because in their culture is known for studying so much that they don't get those other skills, those other swag skills that we as Black women naturally have. That's why when you have a Black woman like Tam, she blows it out of the water because she knows how to speak to people, she knows how to communicate, but she also knows her technical skills. Do you have anything to say about this, Brown Skin Girls, before we move on?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. We need all three. Some people think technical is enough. No, personality is definitely not enough, especially in tech, because okay, great, I like you, but can you get my computer to work again? I mean, I need this to work. But you need all three. And some people don't have it, but I think black women, we can really cultivate all three and win. We already have the personality. I just love being around black women. You know, I'm a black woman, so I love the sisters, but yeah, we can definitely do all three. We definitely can.
Yeah. Erica, congratulations, saying my recent certification I got taking a course at community college and it was included in the course. You know, community college is, for me at least, a great place for you to go and get your, learn, the information and then get your certification as well. So you can also network with the professor that's there because they may have connections to some of the local employers. Y'all know how I am about my networking. Um, Dawn Earth is saying, I work for a smaller company that does well. There are maybe 30 some odd people. I don't like the quote family feel. I need a corporation. Well, okay. I mean, I work for a smaller company that's very much a family feel. I happen to like it. If you, I have my boundaries. There are certain things I won't talk about, which is, is fine. People, as long as people are respecting your boundaries. But sometimes that family feel can come in quite handy because if you're at a corporation and you are employee number 102,349 and only four people in the company know who you are and none of them can help you progress forward, you might want to go back to that family, that small 30 something person business at some point. So just think about it. Just think about it.
Yeah, I like a
Um,
blend in the middle because the
mm,
corporation, they will lay you off so quick. I worked
mhm,
for a division my first job, but it was a corporation, and they laid me off, y'all, so quick. They did not care.
mhm.
And my manager was like, "Wow, like he really had a plan for me," and I really do. I should reach out to him. That reminds me to do that because I miss him so much. He really wanted me to progress there, but right when I was trying to, they cut our department, and I had to be let go. So, I definitely like the in the middle. That's what this company I work for is now. Um because you can network and things like that, but they're also not on you or in your business and have to know every dying detail about you. So that's what I like. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of hospitals and different things like that are kind of in the middle. The IT professionals usually stick together because outside of the company you work for, you're doing a whole different thing from what the people at that company are doing. So you guys kind of stick together and you guys can work together. That's definitely something you can think about down to earth. But I see what you're saying, but I've never worked at anywhere where they need to be in my face and be family. I don't believe in the whole family thing because as soon as, they need to cut you off or lay you off, they'll do it without a problem. I think family is a scam because, they lay you off so they can feed their families or keep their profits for their families. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, there's truth to that. So there's nepotism, definitely, where if, it's between you and the nephew, yes, they're going to choose the nephew because of family. But there are also smaller companies as well. The company that I work for, the owner only has one daughter. I'm not necessarily worried about that daughter taking my position for various reasons. So yeah, there's all sorts of uh, a, a nice mid-sized company. My last W-2 jobs was with a great mid-sized company, and it's small enough where a lot of people, but big enough where you have some cushioning as well. So Tam is saying DoD contracting money is slept on all day long, except if you are in the business, Tam. So Tam is also saying being the only woman and black should be seen as leverage or you turn it into leverage. She is right about that. She's right. Um, Dawn is saying, I'm trying to jump from project management to GRC analyst, doing research now to see how to make the jump. So we take the term trying out of our vocabulary. You're either doing it or you're not. So I want you down to earth to say, I'm jumping from project management to GRC analyst, researching now to see how to make the jump. We don't try. We don't try. Either we doing it or we're not doing it, right? Um, and with that, final final words from you, brown skin girls. I want to encourage everybody, if you are interested in tech, to definitely subscribe to Brown Skin Girls channel. I have pinned it to the top of the chat, so that way you all are able to go and definitely subscribe to her. Even if you're not interested in tech, let's get our girl some more subscribers tonight. Just go subscribe to her channel. It'll come in your feed. It'll be okay. You
Yeah,
may
it's
see some
okay
things
to skip.
pass on. You may see some things to pass on to a family member, a friend, etc. So everybody, I'm encouraging you to go and subscribe to Brown Skin Girls. Final comments, Brown Skin Girls.
Yeah, so I just want to encourage everyone, even if tech is not your thing, um, I'm just here, this isn't a money project for me or anything like that. I just want people to know, like, you're capable, you can do it. Tech is a viable career. The US has a big shortage, especially for people of color and black people and black women. Please don't worry about racism. Don't let racism, misogyny or anything like that. You can do it. This is for you. If you have that calling in your heart, please go and reach out. Do not be like me, running from my purpose. If tech is your purpose, please join. There's so much opportunity, so much money to be made. Um, just don't listen to the outside noise. Anyone can get into tech if they truly put their mind to it. And any money you spend, you will definitely make the money back 10 times over. So I just want people to know that tech is a viable career and that they can do it and leverage any outside, experience. You can definitely do it. And as far as the putting to rest the degrees versus certifications, you need both. And I would add experience. Don't listen to TikTokers who are really recruiters. Don't listen to YouTubers who are paid to promote a degree or a certification, and that's why they're downing the others. Look into people who have no stake in telling you what to do and follow their careers and follow them if that's something that you want to do and make that decision for yourself. And that's really all I have to say. I want to thank you so much, Black Women Making Money, for opening your platform to me. I'm so honored that you wanted to do a show with me because I'm such a small channel and I'm so young. I'm just so honored. And I loved your work and your comments with Erica, like, just so much. I love this platform so much.
Well, thank you so much. I love you. I love the work that you're doing. I think that we all have the ability to support each other. You gave a lot of great information tonight. I hope that people will go back and re-listen to this and take the information that Brown Skin Girl said and actually put it into action. So that is the biggest thing. So with that, I told you ladies in the very beginning that I am taking a break off YouTube for a little mental health thing. So it may be a week, it may be 2 weeks. I have some pre recorded videos that's dropping, but no lives because I just need a little bit of a mental health break. So I will see you ladies. I think it'll be Wednesday of next week when I resurface, but we'll see. All right, ladies, thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening, a prosperous week, and I will see you all in a couple of weeks. Take care.
Bye, everyone.